Welcome back to the KickNPost YouTube channel. Today starts our new series, Must See UFC Fights. This will be a 5-part series where a video will be dropped every 3 days, covering everything from a Conor McGregor comeback to the ascension of Khamzat Chimaev. We'll be doing this series consistently, and we'd like to thank you guys for the support. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and give us any feedback on what you'd like to see be a part of the series in the future. Enjoy the video. On today's card, we have Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou, a very anticipated heavyweight fight that I think still has potential to break records when it comes to pay-per-view. What do you think, Otto?
Man, I'm just waiting for Jon to come back. It's been far too long. I think that it could definitely break records. It's two of the biggest names ever.
Two of the biggest people now ever probably in the division, with Jon actually, I want to say like he's taking his time to put on the weight correctly, but he has also fallen back into very Jon Jones ways, falling into trouble in the off season, that he's kind of given himself to kind of put on the weight the right way and get big for the division, which I do give him credit for. Like a lot of fighters, they kind of hop in for the cash flow. He knows it'll sell pay-per-views whether he shows up at a light heavyweight weight, or if he puts on the weight the right way, or if he just swells up in a month, goes in, fights it. But he's actually trying to go in there and cause some havoc in the division, which I have to give him credit for, because even though Izzy's one of my favorite guys, he didn't take that approach going up to light heavyweight, and I feel like that hurt him. Jon isn't trying to hurt his legacy. He wants to make sure that if he goes in there, he dominates and takes that belt.
Yeah, I don't think moving up in weight is going to be any problem for Jon. Just based on his walk around weight, and he's just not gonna have to cut, and I feel like he's gonna come in fresher almost. Like, I feel like that is the one thing about being in heavyweight. You don't have to cut weight unless you're over the 300 whatever limit. So you don't have to waste your time cutting weight, drain your whole entire body like he was doing for light heavyweight. So I feel like it can really turn a new page in his career.
The gameplay you guys are watching, we have them kind of standing and banging, which I feel like would be the choice of the day. But let's not get it twisted. Jon is one of the best wrestlers, I believe. And when we say one of the best wrestlers, to actually apply it in the fight. We've been hearing a lot of guys come into the UFC lately talking about their wrestling, and we haven't seen them have to display it that much. Chandler, right? While Jon Jones is a very skilled wrestler, and he implements it into his game a lot. Takedowns, kind of putting people up against the cage. I know the later years of Jon, we've seen a lot less aggressive Jon, a lot less creative striking Jon, but I do believe we will get the technical Jon if we get into the fight with Ngannou, because I'm not sure what part of the clips we're in right now, but Ngannou hits hard, and that is no question. There is nobody in that division who would tell you otherwise. Even the slightest jab can rock your world, I would say.
Oh, for sure. And to the technical point of Jon, I mean, looking back to his last fight, which was against Dominic Reyes, very, very long time ago, back in 2020, early 2020, and
when people still thought that boy was good, which I was on it. I hated Dominic Reyes, but anyway, continue.
Oh yeah, that fight sold me, but that's a topic for another video. Yeah, but Jon was pushing and pushing and pushing. In the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round, actually the whole fight, and that's probably why he won the fight, was how technical he was going forward,
pressure,
not actually taking damage, being able to last that long while taking hits, because Reyes rocked him once. I know he dropped him, but it was more of a slip, like it was a shot to his chest, and he lost his footing, but got up immediately. So Jon has shown us the technical side, that he wants to beat someone in their own comfort zone. And I think, obviously, for Ngannou, his comfort zone is standing up. It's not really wrestling. I mean, we saw his wrestling a little bit against Cyril Gane, but it wasn't anything crazy. It was
out of necessity. It was out of necessity. He couldn't stand and bang. He had an injured knee. Went immediately to get that surgically repaired after the fight. he apparently blew it out in training camp and decided, you know what, I'm still going to take that fight because he knew with how Dana was rolling, he'd probably get stripped of the belt. So he went in there and used the tools that he had, which is his weight. He literally put weight on Cyril Gane. I don't think that would work that well against Jon personally, but let's not get it twisted. If we could get back to a creative striking Jon, I feel like we'll be in for something crazy in this fight. All the elbows, all the spinning elbows, some of the, feints and coming in. We need that Jon back. And I feel like we could get that at heavyweight. I think that he has the stamina for it. And again, with him changing his body, instead of just throwing on all that weight all at once, I feel like he's been transitioning and building his stamina with all that weight on his body, which could be huge problems for Ngannou, who's been living at this weight and still not been able to figure out the stamina side.
Yeah, but that's a lot of heavyweights though. Like you can't. I feel like that shouldn't be like a knock per se on Ngannou, because apart from Cyril Gane or maybe Volkov,
Stipe.
A lot of the heavyweights are heavyweights.
Stipe's not heavy.
I guess Stipe as well. Stipe can go 5 for sure.
But that's the thing. Like, there's a mix of having the right weight and kind of maintaining the stamina. I don't think Ngannou. I think it's just his build. He's like, not to bring it to boxing, but like an Anthony Joshua. Those dudes are cut, cut. But all that muscle drains. Like, it takes a lot of oxygen to fuel those muscles to keep them moving. And them boys are jacked. So to get those muscles propelling, it takes a minute. And it wears on you. And the stamina part of that aspect, no matter what you do, if you're built that way, it's going to be tough. You'd have to be superhuman practically to be able to continue in a 5-round fight of that consistent, like, energy output and not eventually get tired. That's why some of the bigger boys, the Tai Tuivasas, look like they have a decent gas tank because even though they're big, it's not necessarily muscle. Right? I would say Hall of Famer recently inducted, DC. His gas tank wasn't crazy, but for his size, it wasn't bad. But again, he's not cut from like lean muscle like these other guys are. He's a little bit more jelly,
Yeah. So obviously next for Jon Jones is rumored to be Stipe. So assuming he takes care of Stipe, Ngannou must be next. Stipe, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. But I know for Ngannou, his next fight has rumored to be away from the cage.
His next fight is for the bag. His next fight, he's trying to get the bag, baby.
Yeah, he's tired of the UFC and the contract issues, and he wants to fight Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury definitely wants to fight him. He brought him in his last fight at the end, and they said it's going to be a big show. So we'll see what goes on there. I mean, I don't think he wins that fight anyway.
Okay. Ngannou went into the ring with Tyson Fury, but he's literally doing that fight for the bag.
Huge bag.
We all know. I don't think
Connor level bag.
Connor level bag. We all know that he didn't even get close to $1 million. I think it was $750,000 to retain his belt against Cyril Gane. That's offensive at this point, based on how much money the UFC is making. I understand that there's more people on the card. We understand they're not making as much in the pay-per-view department as boxing. You're only paying. If you look at the rest of the fighters on a boxing card, their contract or lack thereof is low as crap too. But there's no way your headliner should be making under $1 million. I think that's disrespectful. So, for Ngannou's sake, I know he's going in there to get whooped on real quick, but maybe he could get a quick, 10 mil for getting whooped on by Tyson. I'm pretty sure any heavyweight in any fighting practice would take that any day of the week.
So, I agree 100%. I mean, I'd take the payday. You go hit me one time.
Hit me one time. Lay me out. Knock me out.
Just give me the bag, though.
Yeah. Which I think Ngannou's done enough for the UFC to garner the bag. I mean, we see a lot of highlights. That Alistair Overeem highlight is replayed all the time.
Yeah, I love that one.
Of him sending that dude to space, pretty much, with the uppercut. So I feel like he's become a bigger name, a big enough name. I mean, the UFC sent him off to go do cameo for the latest Jackass movie that came out. He's become, like, celebrity status. And I know it's tougher for a guy like him who's not really the most confident English speaker. But the aura of a knockout artist, right, where they were comparing him and Deontay Wilder when Deontay Wilder was, putting everybody to sleep. That alone should be garnering, like, huge paydays for him in the UFC. And it just hasn't. So I hope he's able to collect that bag against Tyson Fury. But if not, his best bet to collect the bag is to push back off of that injury, heal up real quick, and get Jon Jones to just come for that belt first fight. Skip the Stipe news, because I wouldn't be surprised if Stipe upset Jon Jones. And I feel like he is a solid heavyweight. People kind of like underclass Stipe, unfortunately, based on, the last fight against Ngannou. But that man has the tools to be, a problem for Jon Jones. I'd say he's a way more talented Dominic Reyes, no question. But again, similar build, athletic, could stand on the feet, decent on the defense.
Puts out fires.
Puts out fires. Yeah, support the firefighters. That boy is one of the best. But yeah, I think it could be a problem for Jon Jones. And we don't want to see another situation in the UFC where you have the perfect fight and you wait too long and the unthinkable happens, and then we're left looking like, So I think they should waste no time, do Jon Jones Ngannou, give Ngannou actually royalties or pay-per-view respect since he's the champ. And let's get after it. Let's get those boys in there.
My prediction would probably be Jon by decision.
I'm leaning Jon Jones by submission.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
Jon Jones by submission.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think he's gonna kind of get Ngannou out of a source on the ground, and I could see a submission attempt.
Just take his back. Just get it out of the way. Don't need to put his lights out or anything. Just
I feel like he's gonna drop him.
To death.
Yeah, I feel like he's gonna drop him, kind of in a similar way that Oliveira did to Gaethje. Yeah, kind of drop him, and then in the midst of it,
sprawl.
Let's not get too technical. Let's not get back up and give you a chance to put me out. I'm gonna go and take your arm.
Let's get straight to it.
Let's get straight to it.
Anyway, that has been episode 1 of.
Wait. One more thing. What would be the betting line? Got to close it out. What would be the betting line? There's no line for this one yet, but I feel like it would be Jon Jones -190, and then Ngannou positive money.
I'd say -150.
Yeah, and I would definitely
-150. It's very close, very close.
It's close. I think it would be Ngannou positive money, but I would not put my money on Ngannou even though it's positive. Sorry.
Yeah, my money would be on Jon. Anyway, that has been episode 1 of the new series.
Must see fights.
Next episode
must see UFC
will
fights
be out in 3 days.
Which we must see.
Like, comment, subscribe if you made it to the end of the video.
Even if you haven't, please do.
And on that note, all right, y'all boys.